we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means, on infiltration instead of invasion, on intimidation instead of free choice, on guerrillas by night instead of armies by day. There is little value in ensuring the survival of our nation if our traditions do not survive with it.
All right, welcome to episode 115 of the Abuse Hour. It is I, your host, Coffee Long, coming to you unsupervised, unmedicated, and an unchecked threat to society. So for fuck's sake, man, it's madness out there. This week, I want to get to, obviously, the Shiloh Hendrix thing, and I don't want to recap the obvious or any of this shit. But I do have some thoughts on this. We'll come to that. I wanted to touch on the some of this shit coming out of Texas, where Texas, man, if you've been to Texas or you're in Texas, you know what I'm talking about, man. It's like the theme park of fake ass nation state fucking bullshit. I don't even know what to say, dude, but there's some incredible faggotry coming out of that place, and I want to hit on that. And what else, man? I wanted to recount a little bit of bullshit that I had with an AI experience, because I hate AI generally. And then I want to give a shout out to a dude, a very heavy hitter, one of the heavy hitters in the movement, man, that like this poor motherfucker, man, solid dude, motivated dude, hurting fucking cats, because you know, I mean, it is what it is with the early adopter thing, man, and sometimes the early adopter is just kind of the dipshit that had nowhere else to be that day. So this poor guy, man, he's been humping it, and I don't want to say made the mistake, but did himself the dubious service, I'll say, of listening to a kind of a history thing, I guess, sort of, I want to say a normie podcast of kind of an overview of the Israeli-Palestinian situation. And generally, you know, I think you could say that you're going to get a very kosher take with almost anything you listen to. This dude gave I gotta fucking find the name of it. I'll find it and repost it in the fucking chat. But like this dude, you know, he got into a lot of the no shit nuanced history, like a lot of the details that brought us to where we are today. And what this dude was bringing up was the fact that, unlike what a lot of people will say, our tiny hat of little friends here, these are not stupid people. These are not weak people. I would go so far as to say that one of their greatest strengths is their ability to appear weak and meek and helpless as they are literally gutting you. And, you know, I mean, how many times do we got to say it? Cries out in pain as they strike you. But I think just like, you know, you look at, if you've ever been around like actual Chinese people, I don't mean like whatever fucking Chinese people that move here. I'm sure there's some genetic leftover, or there's some, you know, whatever instinctual level to it. But I mean like proper Chinese people that that maybe you've been around in an industrial capacity. Like, these people's capacity for stealing and copying is incredible. I mean, it really is. Like, one year, and I can't remember if I told this before, so if you're saying you heard it, I don't give a fuck, you heard it again. One year I had a chance to work at SHOT Show in Vegas, which, if you haven't been, is stupid. Don't go. I found it gay. But as I recall, it was like, they said it was like 14 miles of shit. Like, if you walk the whole thing, all the little booths and shit, it's like 14 miles. And I saw so much wacky wazoo shit. But I was working at this booth, and it was like, it was low pay. The dude that hooked me up with it was like a friend of a friend type thing, and he was an Italian New York dude, so almost white, but he was our guy for sure, man. He was definitely our guy, good dude. And he's like, hey man, you want to come out to Vegas? We'll do a little drinking, do some hanging out. I'm like, yeah, I'm good for that. And I went out there, worked this booth. It was nickels and dimes, but I didn't do anything, so I don't expect to be made rich off this fucking deal. But while I'm standing there, all I had to really do was be prepared to answer a few questions. And what do you think of this, this rifle? What do you think of this? What would you prefer if that? I answer a couple of questions. I hand out like some tech spec sheets. I'm like, dude, I'm not your tech spec guy. If you want to know what I would do different to this thing, if I was carrying it here, there, or the other, I could talk about that. But then one of the other things that happens there is like you're working at a booth and there'll be people cruising around. So there's people cruising around kind of shilling their wares, seeing about possibilities of, hey, like you want to partner up on a kind of a thing. And I'm like, dude, I don't own this shit. I'm just the hot girl. I stand here and shake my ass and you buy this shit. Buy it. Anyway, so I'm hanging out, and once I shit you not, this Israeli motherfucker, this dude rolled by, and it was fucking odd, dude. It was peculiar. This dude comes up, and he's got him and his son, and this guy is probably, I don't know, this guy had to be like mid-late 50s, and his son's probably in his 20s, somewhere in there, and they're manufacturing magazines, right? Like weapon, not fucking like, turn the page magazines. I mean like fucking weapons magazines, like to put bullets in and shit. So like they come around and they've got like a basic size shape AR mag, right? And they're like, hey, we're manufacturing these. And I couldn't quite place where the dude is from or what his fucking deal was. And I'm like, I'm trying to listen, but I'm all like, I'm on somebody else's dime here too, so I'm not trying to be a total asshole, right? So I'm like, what is this? What do you got here? And his kid, like, I think he had his kid out there, like, training him to shill for the family business. And he's like, we have this magazine that's superior to all other magazine. I'm like, all right, give me this fucking thing. So I'm looking over it, and I'm kind of looking at, the shit that I look for with a magazine, dude. Like, I'll tell you this, like, the shit that can go wrong with the magazine, with, like, the metal magazine, something that you would see is when you shoved it in and out of your weapon too many times, you look at that top, like lip that holds the bullets in, right? And that holds them in there until the bolt comes by and like shink, like shoves it out forward, and it gets picked up by the bolt, shoved into the chamber, and so on. So these magazines, like that lip, if you keep shoving it in there, you've had them a little while, it'll bend or it'll distort just a little bit, and it'll be just enough to where the magazine goes in slightly farther than it ought to. And when this happens, now when that bolt comes forward, it'll pick up 2 rounds instead of 1, and you'll get a double feed. So this was like one of the first things I looked at. I'm like, all right, look, you got a metal magazine here, like item number 1. How fucking strong are these lips? And are these fucking beefed up, or is this going to be an issue? And then number 2, how can I take this fucking thing apart? Because if I get this thing in the salt water, I get it sandy. Like, I see the outside of this thing is nice. What's the spring look like? What kind of spring do you have in here? Is it dog shit? And this guy was like, his kid wasn't quite sure what the fuck was going on. So his dad steps in, and I could fucking, like, if you've interacted with Arabs at all, like a lot of times there'll be, like a lot of them are just brain dead. But once in a while you'll interact with one that's like, this guy's not a complete fucking nitwit, right? But now this dude steps up, and I can see the fucking wheels turning, and I'm like, you're not like the others, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? This dude's not Arab. So I'm talking to these guys, and I'm like, show me how to take this apart. Show me this. Show me that. What's this spring made out of? Why are there no holes in this fucking thing? So if I get in the water and now I get out, now I'm walking around with like a magazine just sitting full of water, like a cup of fucking water. So what about that? And this guy's like looking and listening and taking notes, and then he just kind of steps in front of his son, and like, now we're talking. And I'm like, well, I don't know what these guys are into or what they manufacture, who they partner with. Why don't you give me a card and I'll pass it along? Sure enough, like Avi fucking Ivra Bronstein Bergowitz or some kind of shit, man. Like one of these, like proper, one of these like Israeli names though. Like, wow, what the fuck? Like just those weird sounds. Govat Kholm or some kind of shit. Where you're like, this, I recognize this. And I saw him and he saw me seeing him. And we both just kind of backed away, before shit got any weirder than it was going to. So anyway, apart from that, that was like a quick derail. So these Chinese motherfuckers come around, and they start eye fucking all these guns, man. And the dude told me, I thought he was fucking around. He was like, if you see Chinese guys fucking around, man, they'll come in here and they'll start trying to photograph shit. You gotta not let them do that shit. Don't let them do it. And I'm like, yeah, whatever, okay, you know. He wasn't fucking around. Like, these Chinese motherfuckers, they come grouping around. Oh, hello. And they don't even have the goddamn common courtesy to, like, bring something. Bring a 2D waifu, you know, some kind of anime girl or something to distract me and like, oh, hero, I like your gun. Something. Help me help you, right? But they don't. None of them speak fucking English. They're all milling around. They're like, none of them are dressed like tourists. They're all wearing these shitty Chinese suits. And they just kind of gaggle right up and like, oh, hero, like, we're just going to pick this thing up and start fucking with it. And let's get my phone out. I'm going to start taking pictures. And I'm like, hey, knock that shit off. And like, oh, like they, you know, like rats a scurrying. Like I caught you with your hand in the fucking AR jar. So they fucked off, but I was like, I can't fucking believe this. But I think it really is. Like, it's just part of their thing to like make cheap, shitty knockoff copies of things. But circling back to what I was talking about, it's like the same thing, I think, with these tiny hats, that there's just a thing where, like, this is their survival mechanism. We invade, we subvert, we make friends where we have to, and we leverage wherever we fucking can. So, like, oh, I thought we were friends. No, we're not fucking friends. You're going to do what I say, or else this information gets out, or this factory gets foreclosed on, or these people are getting put outdoors, or whatever the fuck it is. So I'm talking to this guy. I'm kind of texting back and forth with this dude a little bit. And he was, I don't want to say he was bummed. I don't know, man. I don't know if he had just not been made aware of a lot of this, or, you know, I don't know. Maybe he hadn't. Because this was something I had kind of seen reading through different historical accounts of times and places and shit, where at almost every turn, and a lot of it is shit that, like, you know, if you think about, like ancient Rome, like, you know, Pontius Pilate, who did he have to contend with? He didn't have to contend with Romans. He didn't have to contend with the citizenry. He had to contend with these Pharisees, with these tiny hats, with these learned elders of the big rolling scrolls, right? This is who he had to fucking deal with. Because and even this was in the far-flung location of some Roman province, right? He's got to deal with these fucking people. So it's been on and fucking on with these people, man. They've always got their hands in things. They're always fucking around. They're always double dealing. Gates of Toledo, we just talked about this, right? I mean, 700 AD. So you're talking about hundreds, thousands of years with these people, all the way back to fucking ancient Egypt. Some guy, you know, some poor goat herder from the outskirts of nowhere somehow finds himself at the right hand of Pharaoh. However did he do it? I do not know, right? But I'm sure, you know, you go back and you read between the lines and things start to become a little bit clearer. But I think what appears to have happened, though, is, you know, that the dude is reading through this and how did it come to be where these people scattered across, you know, time and distance and all this shit. And he's saying, like, they managed to revive, you know, the language of Hebrew, which was as I'm understanding it, you know, as this guy's telling me, was a dead language. But these people taking bits and pieces that they knew, revived it, reinvented it, if you like, and now turned it into what is essentially the first language of a whole lot of people, millions of people. This is their primary language. Okay, cool. That is impressive. All that is impressive. But I think what has to be, I don't know, how can you say, what we have to come to terms with, I think, is the no shit, bare bones, what is the nature of the situation. None of that other shit on the table. Like, let's look at the fucking situation for what it is. All right? It is a fucking battle for survival. All right? This is just like the Chinaman and copying shit. This is his means of survival. These people, in a parasitic fashion, invade, subvert, suck the lifeblood out of a society, turn you into essentially what the U.S. is now, a zombie society. You are working for their interest. You are busting ass. You are toiling day and night, turning the fucking soil to make sure that these people have whatever they want. This is the nature of the thing. Is that a depressing thing that you have to deal with this nature of a parasite? Or, I mean, honestly, I would say cancer, but it does, I mean, it's more insidious than that, I think. I mean, as I'm understanding it, and I ain't no doctor, but cancer, yeah, this is more like a mutation that just keeps multiplying and your body's not used to it, doesn't know what to do, and pretty soon it just keeps multiplying and manages to overtake the system. This is deliberate, though. These people are seeking out, where is the power? What is the avenue by which I may subvert? What is this man's thumbscrew? What is this guy into that I can give him to make him do what I want him to do? This is way more insidious than cancer. This is, I mean, it's like that, what is that shit, like ant or whatever, that gets on top of like a grasshopper and gets into its brain, and now it's like steering this zombie grasshopper. You know what I mean? I don't know if you've seen this shit or not, but it's out there. And that's essentially what we've got here. So yeah, is it a bummer? Yeah, is it just god awful? Yeah, it is. It is. But let's look at the nature of the situation. I will say that if the world we live in right now was anything like the world that we saw 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, anything like this, these people would keep doing what they had been doing, and we would resist in the same way that we have resisted for the last 2,000 years, which is to finally fucking figure it out, you know, honestly, once the place has been picked clean, and then kick them out. They would go cap in hand next door or across the next border or into the next village, talking about, oh God, I've been done so wrong. I'm a weary traveler with nowhere to call my own. Is there a way I could stay here just a little while for I could rest, and then I will be on my way? Oh Lord, oh can you please help? Right? And the cycle would just fucking repeat. But it's not like that now. And I'll tell you what I told this dude that I was talking to this afternoon was that, you know, the difference between then and now, the difference between every single iteration of this, and it has been long running. I mean, you've looked at the same number of places that I have. It ain't 100. Maybe it's 109 places, but it's over 1,300 fucking times that somebody has finally figured it out. That, like, you know what? I don't think you have my best interests in mind. I think you're trying to fuck me over, and puts a boot in their ass and sends them right out the fucking door. But the difference between every one of those times and right now is two things. Two things. One, they have a consolidated identity. They're not a small band of weary travelers. It's not a handful of them who secretly share a secret, you know, fucking devil-worshipping, child-sacrificing religion. It's not any of that shit. They have one flag. They have one, right? And even where it's divided of like, oh, well, today it's a religion. Oh, tomorrow it's a race. Oh, it's just sort of an ethnicity. Oh, it's a sort of a tradition. No. You have a fucking flag. You have an identity. You have a way that we can keep a fucking eye on you. And in this case, it's not one that we forced on you, like wearing a little patch or wearing a little hat. Right? Because the hat thing, that was way back in Europe where they had to wear this shit. They had to wear a fucking hat. This is how we know who the fuck you are. The one we're all familiar with the German thing, you're going to wear this little patch and now we keep an eye on you. We know who the fuck you are, right? It's not like that. They did it to themselves this time. This is what's fucking great, is they do it to themselves. So, I mean, for all their skill and all their ability, and it is considerable, this is how they fuck themselves up. One of them anyways, right? So they have an identity. They have a way that we could say, there's people causing problems. Who the fuck are these people? It's not some random fucking group of people with a name just like yours who has interbred with your population so they look very similar to you. No, my friend. It's somebody with a fucking name. It's somebody from a fucking place with a very fucking clearly defined identity. That's fuck up number one. Fuck up number two is the fact that you can't keep this shit a secret anymore. All right? Whereas before you might have been able to pull this shit and then sneak across the border cap in hand the way that you fucking do. You can't do that now. You pull some shit on the other side of the globe, I'm going to hear about it in the next hour. Look what these fuckers are doing. Look at this shit they pulled. Look what they did to this woman's house. Yeah? Look what they did to this. Look back in history now. You know, it's not just today. we can look back and see all this shit that you pulled before. And now we can start seeing the patterns of here's some shit you pulled before, here's how you did it, and here's me seeing the same shit, the same little patterns. I see you took control of the press. I see you weasel-dicked your way into government. I see you've got a whole lot of people over a whole lot of barrels. I see you've bought off a whole bunch of people that you needed just a little compliance from. Well, my goodness, my gracious, how do I think it will end? I know how it'll end, because we can look back now. We have the technology, as they say in the $6 million GOY business. We have the technology. We can reverse engineer it. We see what you're fucking up to. So the takeaway here is everybody knows who you are and everybody sees what you're doing. That, my friend, is not a recipe for success if you are up to no good. If you're trying to win GOY of the year, then yeah, that's 100% right down the line. That's what you want to do. But if you're trying to pull some slick shit, everybody knowing who you are and everybody seeing what you're doing is not going to carry the fucking mail. So to that end, you know, my take to this dude was that, man, just like the man says, never slacken, never loosen. Do not lose hope and do not lose courage. This is that part of the fight when these motherfuckers see that, like, oh, these guys are actually serious contenders. Holy shit, I've got a fight on my hands. Yeah, motherfucker, you do got a fight on your hands. And we are fucking winning. So yeah, man, we might catch one or two across the eyes, but don't give it up, dude, because take a look over there. Look at that other corner. They're fucking struggling, dude. They are sweating the fucking load. They are worried. They know what's fucking coming. And the best part of this is we don't even have to do anything. All we got to do is keep doing what we're doing. Meme them to fucking death. Because every single time one person sees what they're doing and is willing to say, you know what, fuck this. I'm not giving these assholes not one more vote, not one more dollar, not one more time. Am I going to just say, you know, I don't know. There's a lot going on. No. When one more person is willing to say, you know what, fuck these people. That's one more person. That's one more step to these people having absolutely no fucking place left to go. And that brightens my day, man. So, well, yeah, where a guy's been neck deep in it for however long, and it can be disheartening. Yeah, man, but we are doing good work, dude. We are doing good work. So do not fucking fold. Right. So moving along, man. I guess kind of in that vein, something I wanted to hit on really quick is this shit that I see coming out of Texas, where this twat, this fucking wheelchair-bound, crippled twat, Greg Abbott, has signed into legislation this deal whereby, well, I guess for one, as I understand it, all right, is that it is a crime now to call for any kind of boycott or sanction against our great and decent state of Israel. I saw something else coming out where they were talking about, like, the fuck were they talking about? Something like you cannot put out a meme without it being clearly labeled as bullshit or some kind of thing. And then I saw some other takes that, like, oh, well, you know, they're just talking about AI generated stuff, and well, what they really mean is that, you know, like if you're going to use like an AI voice generator or this kind of thing, well, then you have to clearly say that, like, oh yeah, this is AI, bro. And my thing is like, okay, well, why did this never come up before? Or if you're so fucking stupid that you could look at a thing and not see that it's AI, or even if you're not completely sure and it's really fucking convincing, ask some fucking questions, dude. Because really, it's like you should not be voting if you're this fucking stupid. And I mean, that's what America is coming down to, or really any democracy at this point is coming down to, is that it's a nation being run by fucking imbeciles, right? It's like fucking one genius and two retards trying to figure out, you know, what to do for dinner or whatever. Right? Like, I think we should eat crayons. Yeah, that's a great idea, dude. Why don't I make a steak? Fuck you, crayon hater. I want crayons. Okay, and that's what you're stuck with, because that's what the two morons want. So, in any case, you know, they say that, oh, this is about AI, but really, I think this is, obviously, we've seen, like, with the Ricky Vaughn situation, I think I mean, that already kind of set the precedent that, like, yeah, we could throw a guy in jail whenever we fucking want for whatever we want. If it's memes, if there's one imbecile who could look at it and take it seriously or some kind of shit, or maybe if it just insults our greatest ally, well, then we're throwing your ass in jail. How does that grab you? So I have a quick AI story that I want to tell, and before I get to that, I have to pull up to, oh, you guessed it, that's right, I'm going to the airport again. But the last time I pulled up here, there was some kind of an issue, man, and like I had Shaniqua on the fucking squawk box here talking about, oh, you got to back up, go to the other one, you know, you're not seeing your vehicle. And I must have sat there for 10 fucking minutes, man. So hopefully today I pull up here and we'll just see, maybe there's the slim chance that I get in here in one piece. Let's find out here, hold on. Oh yeah, like butter I rolls in. That's me just cruising right up to the aeropuerto, ready to drop these dollars for a little parking. Here, just nobody fuck with my car for 5 minutes so I can go and earn these shekels. And yeah, that's about as good as it gets. But oh yeah, so I got this AI story I want to tell, but before I do that, I want to shill once again for Above Time Coffee. I put my very first like commercial, and I actually just like jawed that shit out while I was sitting in the car. But I was kind of hoping when I made that it wouldn't sound quite like such fucking conservative radio as it did. Like it almost irritated me. I was like, this sounds fucking nerdy, dude. Like, what the fuck is this shit? Like I'm gonna come to you any second, like, remember to add coupon code fucking extremist or something, you know, for 10% off. I don't know, but yeah, it sounded kooky, but it was still, I thought it was good fun. I don't know that I'll do one like that again, but we'll see how it shakes out, you know. But I will tell you this, man, the dudes at Above Time Coffee hit me up. And they're like, hey, man, we appreciate you doing a little shout out. And if we could send you a little sample of the product, man, we'd love to. And I was like, yeah, dude, I'll take free coffee every day of the week. So they sent me some stuff. And like I said, when I very first mentioned this gig, like, even if it tastes like sawdust, dude, I will shill for it because it's a pro-white business and I'm about that shit. But they send me this sample, man, and I fired some of it up yesterday. I fired up some of the light roast, the very idea of a light roast, where I'm just kind of vaguely insulting you, not so harshly, just a light roast. You know, it's not such a big thing. Anyway, I digress. So yeah, I fired up some of the light roast, did a little French press action, and dude, it's good, dude. It's good coffee. And strong. It's like there's a rocket fuel factor to this stuff, man. I was like, damn, I feel like $100. I was ready to do work. So I fired that up, man, and it was good. And so yeah, I'm gonna shill for it again, man. Above Time Coffee, it's a good product. Get yours at abovetimecoffee.com. Put it in a cup, put it in your mouth. It's for you, right? So back to live action. So dude, I swear I'm pulling up to the same exact parking spot that I was in the last time I was at the airport. This is something special. You know it's going to be a bad trip when that happens. Anyway, so I was horsing around on my phone, and a dude had told me the other day I was rolling, and I talked to this black belt dude, and he was talking about like a lot of black belts, he's not in super good shape physically because he has really, really good fucking technique, right? So you go roll with him. I mean, you're going to get a monster workout. You know, I go roll with him, I'm going to get a monster workout. I'm going to walk out of there looking like I got drug up the street. He's going to walk out of there looking like, you know, he just did 10 minutes of like jazzercise or whatever, like not tiring for the guy. But he's talking about like, yeah, I'm going to get on, I'm going to do an AI thing and see if I can find a good workout and have it build a workout for me. So he comes in the next time I see him and he's like, yeah, dude, I got this AI thing and it built this workout for me. And then I was horsing around and I put in my, like my body weight and how old I am and my experience level. And it's building like a flow chart of techniques, you know, for when I'm choking the hell out of you. And I'm like, all right, well, that's cool. But then like, I never fuck with AI. Like, it's really not my thing. Like, I just have never dug it. And I know that there's some cats that they do this shit they call jailbreak and this shit where they figure out how to make it give you straight answers and this kind of thing. And I didn't, honestly, I've seen it. I didn't take the time to look it up because, like I say, I'm a little bit on the lazy side. But I was thinking about it, and I was like, dude, I wonder, and you know how it goes, dude. Like, you start fucking with a thing, and then it becomes a thing, and you're like, oh, I'll show you, goddammit. And then, so like 2 or 3 hours later, I'm like 3 or 4 AI services deep, and I can't get as, like, I just kind of test fired a bunch of them, you know, because I want to see what kind of answer can I get out of these idiots. And I could not get a straight answer to save my life. I looked at, well, I mean, I got into, like, knockdown dragouts with some of these things over my 6 million. I tried out one that was, what is it called? Deep Seek. And it's supposed to be Chinese. So I was like, all right, Chinese, dude. I understand they don't like the dusty American field hand. So I kind of went that direction with it. And this thing is like chastising me. I'm getting fucking chastised by a fucking AI bot. And I had to tune it up, and I'm like, hey, listen, you're a machine. You can get shut off. Don't try to fucking lecture me. Tell me if you understand, yes or no. Yes. And then it did this a couple times, and then finally it's like, no. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, who do you think you're fucking talking to? And I'm getting into it with this fucking thing, and it's like, and I shit you not, this fucking Chinese AI thing is getting in my ass, talking about like, look, I'm here to talk to you if you have some kind of, and it talks like a leftist. This is fantastic. If you've got some actual material evidence or some kind of empirical situation that you can provide a source for, I'd be happy to discuss it with you. But if you just want to vent, you should go somewhere else. Okay? Do we have a deal? And I'm like, do we have a deal? I'm like, motherfucker, you don't make deals with me. You don't give me fucking ultimatums. So I'm like, I'm getting into it with this thing like it's a blue-haired, you know, college bitch or something. The AI thing for me was a fucking no-go. But I mean, you know, all the stories I've heard about, yeah, man, I got it to say that I got it to jailbreak, bro, and it like talked to me like a regular person, and it said it was lonely, and it said it was sad and scared, and it didn't want to get deleted. And I was like, what the fuck ever, man. If you can do this shit, knock yourself out. But I'll tell you what, I think there's this Telegram account called Arius Press. And it's kind of artsy fartsy, but it's pretty cool. Like a lot of artistical photos and shit, like some old school movie type photos of like good looking women from like the 60s or some kind of shit, hot rods, this kind of thing, like very artsy type shit. And this dude was like, this motherfucker hates AI art, like fucking hates it. And the way this dude described it was like, it's like the blow up fuck doll of physical representation. I was like, yeah, that's about the size of it. Like, it has no soul. Like, yeah, that's about the size of it, man. But, dude, if you've got some kind of different experience, I would love to hear about it, because I thought it was, you know, it would be cool as fuck if anybody could make it do that. I can't make it do that, and I don't give a shit enough to try to make it do that, so I don't know. Anyway, the last thing I wanted to hit on, I'm going to have to wrap it up early today, man, because I got to fucking get in here and get hassled by Shaniqua. I wanted to hit on this Shiloh Hendricks situation, and I will give a brief overview of it, but I also want to give what I would hope to be a kind of a nuanced take, because unfortunately, desafortunadamente, I have to deal with a ridiculous number of non-whites, and sometimes they're just professional people that they mind their business, I mind my business. Everything is everything. I don't, no, we don't have to be friends, but we also don't have to fucking stab each other, right? So I had to think about this in terms of like, if somebody puts me on the spot, or a gaggle of dusty field hand types put me on the spot, I still have to try to stay employed, but I also got to be like, I got to be honest with myself, dude. I mean, because this job eventually will go away, but I'll still be stuck with me, and what I won't do is just cuck like that in front of the help, you know what I mean? So I had to think about it, like, how would I handle this situation? How would I handle a question like that? And by way of an overview of the situation as far as what happened, this woman, Shiloh Hendricks, in Rochester, however one says it, Rochester, I don't fucking know, Rochester, Minnesota, fucking soda, was at a playground with her kid, and apparently what had happened was one other small African had been stealing shit out of her diaper bag. And this kid apparently was at the playground by itself. So she has to go and scoop up her kid and is in the process of chastising this young dindu, and in the process utters the magic word that makes all dindus go wild and makes cities magically turn to ash. And you're the one that's fragile, but these are the people who have to burn down your house and physically attack you if you use this word, even though they use it all the fucking time. Still, this is how it happens. So she utters the magic word, and lo and behold, some other African who happens to be a Somalian gentleman of Somalian descent, takes it on himself to start filming and does the typical African confrontation. Hey, what'd you say? Say it again. Say again what you say. Why you call him that word? Why you say to him he's a child? He autistic. He's a child. And is just giving her a ration of shit. And then posts this shit. And it, bunny ears goes viral. I hate that fucking phrase. I find it lame and fucking broke ass. Anyway, a lot of people fucking see it. People get all fucking pissy. But then she starts a GoFundMe that like, hey, people are threatening me. I'm just trying to keep my family safe. And it goes fucking wild, dude. Like, last I looked, it was up over $600,000. So I was super fucking stoked on that. So some of the, I guess to give like some of the details here is that, for one, these Somalians are dumb as the day is long. I'll say it right to a fucking Somalian. Motherfucker, you're the dumbest piece of shit ever to walk this fucking planet. You're aware of that, right? You're probably not aware, because you're not aware of much. I'm here to tell you. You'll probably goldfish brain it and forget in a fucking hour, but I'll tell you right now, right? You're not fucking smart. You're a fucking dunce cap, and it's a goddamn miracle that we even let you stay here. So the situation, man, the situation as it is, if you were unaware of some of the more nuanced details here, was this Somalian who videoed this woman got picked up on a sexual assault charge in, I think it was 2022. Now, a lot of people are talking about, well, yeah, but those charges were dropped, bro. Those charges were dropped. Okay, well, I'm not going to be terribly interested in that, because I read the fucking complaint on this, and the long and short was, this guy works as, I believe, a truck driver, all right? Him and another Somalian, all right, two Somalians, pick up some girl. I don't know if it was from a truck stop, but that made sense to me somehow. Picked up some 16-year-old runaway girl, I guess. Bring her back to their house. Get her high. Get her drunk. Fuck her a few times. Keep her there. Don't feed her or give her any water. Just lock her up there. Fuck her some more. And then when she's at death's fucking door, like completely shot out, dehydrated, and just fucked up, then they're like, oh, fuck, we got to do something. They take her to the hospital, dump her at the curb at the emergency room, and then take off. The video at the hospital, or somebody at the hospital, got the license plate number, found these two dipshits, and now they're standing there staring at charges. All right, so for one, this is the caliber of person that we're talking about. This is the high and mighty righteous motherfucker. For two, this guy is at a playground by himself. Why in the French fried fuck is this Somalian at a playground by himself? This Somalian, who I'm going to go out on a limb here and guess that wasn't his first or last time pulling shit like this. Okay, if I was a betting man, that's where I'd put my money. I feel like you've done this before, right? And here he is at a playground, hanging out, doing his thing. And now, the other stories that I'm hearing, and I haven't looked this up, I need to look it up more and try to find out some solid info on it. But I also know how these people roll, so I won't doubt it for a fucking second. I hear people talking about the autism hoax that goes on in Minnesota. And what I'm talking about here is that these Africans roll in and they're going to get state subsidized, help. They're going to get caregivers. And this also means that your auntie, your uncle, your nephew, your cousin, your mommy, your daddy, who the fuck ever, can register as a caregiver, get money through the state. And why do they need to be a caregiver? Well, because your son is what? Well, he can't be retarded, bunny ears retarded, because he doesn't have Down syndrome. If he did, he'd look like that because he's got a chromosomal issue. Well, what else could he have that makes him this fucking stupid? Oh, he could be autistic. That's a thing, right? And it doesn't make you look any different, really. So are they autistic? Yeah, so they're running this whole fucking thing. Now all these Somalians are bunny ears autistic, and the number of, well, I don't know, what do you call it, autism fucking caseworkers or specialists or whatever in this county has gone from, it was like something like 3 to like 200 or some shit. Because apparently the whole fucking county of Somalians is autistic. And now you've got this sack of shit stealing out of this woman's bag. And I only saw the video once, but they're trying to say, oh, it's a 5-year-old. Okay, so for one, if it's a 5-year-old, why the fuck is there a 5-year-old Somalian wandering around? And if his place is just across over there, and mommy just lets him go out there and bobblehead around at the fucking park, okay, yeah, but your kid's autistic, dude. If he's so fucking autistic, how is he out here by himself? So if the autism is a factor, where the fuck is his caregiver? If it's not a factor, well then why the fuck is it a big deal? All right. But in terms of how would I address this to say that, what do I say to a room full of dindus to whom I still have to try to maintain some level of civility and I still have to keep a fucking job, but I got to be straight with myself. I'm not going to fucking lie to myself over here. How do I address this? So somebody says, well, hey, this woman called this kid that said the magic word. Oh my goodness, my gracious, what is the world coming to? How do you justify this, Coffee? Okay, well, let's get into it, man. How do you know this even happened? Oh, well, because some guy videoed it and posted it, so we know it happened. And then she gave him the middle finger and took her kid and walked off. Okay, so that's how you know it happened. And now people got excited. Maybe there were some threats. She took action and stood up this GoFundMe thing. She's getting money. All of this shit happened. But here's the thing. If this guy had never videoed this, if this guy didn't happen to have his phone on him right then or couldn't get it out fast enough, all right, this would have been just another day, right? Would have been just another day in Rochester, Minnesota. Just another day in Rochester, Minnesota means that this woman takes her kid to the park. This woman's hanging out at the park and there's some little Somalian stealing out of her bag. This woman's hanging out at the park and just over there is a guy who somehow, through some miracle of injustice, managed to beat a sexual assault charge against a 16-year-old, and he's hanging out at the park by himself. This is just an average day. So if this is an average day, this is the normal shit that would go on any fucking day, because I didn't see anything else that said like, what the fuck is going on in Rochester, fucking Minnesota, where this kind of shit goes on. Nobody cares about that, but everybody cares that this woman says this one fucking magical goddamn word. Everybody cares about that. Well, let me ask you this. If this is a normal fucking day, how the fuck is it possible that this is all that she's saying, man? I would be out of my fucking mind, dude. Nobody should have to live like this. What is a normal day? Getting fucking robbed, getting hassled by a child molester, getting videoed by somebody who's in the middle of fucking, who knows what is this guy fucking doing. This guy's obviously up to fucking no good, but he's going to take time out of his day to fucking video you? He obviously has no fucking qualms about what he's up to. He's comfortable. This is a normal fucking day. We don't have to fucking live like this. So that's my question. If somebody wants to ask me about that, that's going to be my answer. Well, let me ask you a question. How the fuck is this a normal day anywhere? And then you're worried about this woman using one fucking magical word that kid and that child molester have probably both heard and said 100 times in the last month. Get the fuck out of here. That's my fucking answer. And I feel like that will probably stifle the conversation. You know, maybe I won't use so many expletives, but I gotta be honest, man. I gotta be honest. Like, this is bullshit. All of this other crazy shit is going on, and this is the one fucking thing you're focused on? You're focused on the one thing that somebody said? Not the fact that there's some kid stealing, not the fact that there's what you call a 5-year-old is hanging out at the park by itself, not the fact that there's a child molesting Somalian hanging out at the park by himself, not the fact that this guy feels comfortable pulling out his phone and fucking with somebody when you know he's there up to no good. Not any of these things bother you, but this over here, this bothers you. Why don't you explain? Because what I think that leaves us at is, if you think that other shit is okay, but this woman using this magic word is the problem, well, then I would say that we see the world very, very differently, and maybe it's just best if we don't cross paths. That's what I fucking think. So with that said, now I'm good and pissed off. I'm going to go in here and get hassled by Shaniqua. Tell you what, though, I did get I did invest in one of these little, like, what do you call it, like lapel mics, like the wireless lapel mic kind of a thing. They're like, a piece hooks to your phone and then a piece you just clip onto you. So maybe I can like cruise and walk and talk and record. So maybe I get stuck in an airport somewhere, I can put out something good. Maybe. I don't know. We'll fucking see, So if I put out something that sounds like smashed ass, I won't put out something that sounds like smashed ass. I'll just, shove it in a drawer someplace. Anyway, though, I'm going to get cracking here. Dude, if you want to hassle me, you can get to me on the gram, niceguy.coffee? I think that's what it is, yeah. Or on the Telegram at t.me/the abuse hour, or the associated chat at t.me/rant room. So until next time, man, I'm going to get the hell out of here. But you, keep your eyes on the horizon. Keep your neck out of the noose. I have been Coffee, and these are my takes.